Good Monday morning, everyone. This week for social studies, you just have 2 assignments that you are responsible for, and you have all week to get them done. The first one is going to be an IXL Social Studies Challenge. In order to do that, you're going to log in to IXL, select Social Studies, and then you can compete for the most questions answered correctly. And you'll use the following topic and activities: geography, economics, civics, and US history. These are the codes for the ones I'd like you to do. A lot of them are things that we've already discussed this year. Some go along with how the states got their shapes, so you can practice the United States. And some of it's a little introductory material about economics. So just to give you some background information. Again, this is a challenge, a competition. We'll see who answers the most questions correctly by the end of Friday. So have fun with that. The second thing we're going to be doing is we are going to be completing a pandemic project. This project is really nothing new. You've already done all the work for it. Now you're just going to put it together into some kind of multimedia presentation so that people can better view your ideas. So this is just some background about what I was thinking as I started this. And I actually thought about it right away that first Friday when we were told we didn't have school anymore, and thought, wow, we are really living through a unique time and we should capture this. So I started to think about different ideas and how I was going to share that with you. And then so funny, the Wisconsin Historical Society sent me an email on April 7th saying, hey, if you want to participate in our project, you can do it. We want to get what other people's lives are like during this time. Not just certain people, but all people. So if you are really interested in giving your information to the Wisconsin Historical Society, you can actually submit your final journal when we're done at the end of the year, or even if you continue it after that. So if you click on the link, COVID-19 Journal Project, it's a way to get in touch with them and what you have to do. And I think you need your permission filled out from your parent or guardian in order to submit it. But here, if you want more information, you can be part of this experience and the Wisconsin Historical Society keeping your information for the future. I thought that was pretty neat, that we can actually be a part of history and they're collecting it. So what does that mean? We've had some assignments so far. We talked about sources of information. So we talked about primary and secondary sources, and we viewed a photo journal. We had personal accounts where you just kind of write about what you're thinking during those first weeks at home, and you can continue to do that throughout this time period. Then we looked at Anne Frank, and she was a teenager living in hiding during World War II. So it gives us that personal point of view, what a teenager may be thinking or about during this time, even when there's something major going on in the world. So just like her voice was heard, your voice can be heard. Then we had the time or schedule, again using Anne Frank and looking at what her day looked like or her week. You could have made your own daily schedule about how things maybe were before, like when you went to school, and now with virtual school, or timeline events of your life. And lastly is inspiration. How are you staying inspired, motivated, and happy? And last week you read about a story about goats because people are following animal stories. I know even today I watched some enrichment time of the lion at the zoo that the Milwaukee County Zoo had out. It was just kind of fun to watch what they were doing. So now what? You're at a point to use your assignments to create an actual project. So if you did the assignments, you're already done. And all you're going to have to do is copy and paste onto whatever thing you would like. We are going to continue this project starting next week for a 6th journal entry. But we're just going to add 1 entry per week. If you want to do more, you can do more. But there will still be 1 witness to history assignment every week along with 2 other assignments. So my goal is only to give you 3 assignments per week. So what I did is I broke it down into steps for you. so that you could see what to do every day. So if you really wanted to break it down into one thing at a time, you can do that. The first step is going to be to choose your format. You can either use Google Slides, Prezi, iMovie, a Google Site, Adobe Spark Page, Canva. I know they have some newsletters maybe in there that would make it look cool. Like you could have it look like a newspaper kind of journal. That would be neat. Or really, I don't have any limitations on what you can use. You could use whatever you'd like. Just let me know if you have any questions. Personally, for my example, I'm going to use Google Slides because I can easily import videos and do pictures into it too. So it might be the easiest. If I had a little more time, I'd probably make it into a Prezi just because those are fun and have actions involved within them. So it's really your choice to choose whatever format you want to put all your information together. Step 2 is you're going to copy and paste in your work from the 5 assignments you've already done in Google Classroom. You're not going to take every single piece of the assignment. You're just going to take the writing part that you created for this journal opportunity. So a lot of them are the writing prompts that I put in there, like now create your playlist or do your schedule or your timeline. So you're not doing the whole assignment. You're just copying and pasting in your actual written work for your witness to history. And all of them are the witness to history assignments 2, 3, 4, and 5. Each had the writing on them. The last step for this week is to edit and revise the current entries. So you should have 5 entries, and you should go back and edit and revise them for grammar and conventions like capitalization, commas, and spelling. I'm really going to pay attention to how we are using commas at this point, and if you are using them. So think about where commas should be going. Also, I gave you a lot of feedback on number 1 and 2 on your writing. So please make sure to go back, and if you need to add details to make them longer or to make them put the reader in your experience and your point of view, go back and add those details into your writing. That's what I will be looking for, to see if you took my feedback and made any changes. So those are really the 3 project steps you have to do for this week. To help you better, I wrote everything out. These are the 5 weekly entries you are responsible for. There's a personal account number 1 on Witness to History number 2, and it was about school being canceled. Also on that same document, Witness to History number 2, there was an account about your spring break. What did you do over spring break? Then on Witness to History number 3, it was about just telling how your week went in the first full week of virtual learning, or maybe what you had done with your family. It's just a personal account. So those 3 are like journal entries. However, I had some people do some creative things. Some people did timelines, some people did lists. Someone did really awesome poems as well. So these can be creative things. They don't just always have to be written. And I did write that in the directions for Witness to History number 2. Then number 4 was your timeline or schedule to do with Witness to History number 4. There was also an optional choice on that one. So you could actually add 2 things in for that week if you wanted to. And then last week was the inspiration one from Witness to History number 5. And it could have been the optional personal account. It could be pictures. It could be inspirational quotes, happy videos, a motivational playlist, whatever you decided it to be. Next week, you're going to have a different one. And so that's why I already have that down there for next week. But like I said, you won't have that until Monday. Your goal this week is to get focused on getting those 5 in, getting them finalized so you don't have to go back to them any other time. And moving forward, you can just edit, revise as you go along and make sure you have pictures or anything else you want to add. Now, there is going to be an example project that I am doing for my family. So that will be linked in here to help you look at. I hesitate to give it to you because I don't want you to copy it exactly. But also, I want to give it to you because I think it'll give you a lot of pointers in how to set things up, and that I should see a variety of things that you're putting into it. This is not just meant to be one big writing project. It's to bring in different, like I was saying, it's to bring in all different types of writing and a variety of writing to help you showcase your creativity and also your experience during this unique time period in history. So again, everything is here that you need. Be working on two things this week. Number one is you're working on the IXL challenge for social studies. And the second thing is putting together the beginning of your Witness to History project, your pandemic project. So all your journal entries will go together in one place. If you have any questions, of course, reach out to me, preferably via WebEx. I'm on there all day. I send you messages. You can send me messages. We can video chat if you need specific help. But please, again, if you have any questions, look at the slideshow and also watch the video again. I hope you guys have a terrific week. Bye.